Hey guys, welcome to the weekly review. And this week it was an inside week with a relatively small range. We got a bounce at this level here, and even though it looked bearish and felt kind of bearish, price action didn't really amount to much. Like the week was minus 0.25, so it seemed a lot worse than it was. And if we zoom in at the micro level, at the 1 hourly, we came close to breaking down a couple of times. Like here, here I wouldn't say we recapture quickly, and here as well. But the higher we go, the less of a breakdown it was. Like on 4 hours, we barely got a close below the May mid. And this weekly low level is important because it's actually also the quarterly open. This is a key level, like 408.85. The weekly low was a bit 2 cents higher, but the quarterly low open will be very, very important. It's here. So if we lose this, this candle will become very red very quickly. So the quarterly low, keep an eye on it, open, sorry, because it's very important and might be a support next week as well. But things are still quite bearish as a feeling. We'll see if it becomes manifest in the price as well next week. I think we may still get a blow off top, but 420 seems off very optimistic right now. Like I said last week as well, or in the midweek update, Qs seems to be the more important benchmark here, and any decision to go short for me will be based on QQQ going above this level, entering this supply zone, and then probably breaking down. So this is what I'm tracking now. I don't think SPY will go to 420 yet, maybe later. And if you guys follow me on Reddit, you saw that I made a new what was the name? Overlayer, a new overlayer. And this is the new overlayer. And this is for SPY and for QQQ like this. And I think we may still get this next week. Candles don't need to align perfectly, but the idea behind it is this. If we go back at the 2021 top, we have this distribution pattern here in which um, the rally is very narrow in breadth. This was led by mega caps as well, like Apple. What did Apple look like at the end of 2021? Straight rocket up. What did NVDA look 2021? NVIDIA topped a bit earlier, and I'd expect NVIDIA to drop more now as well. But before that, it was rocket up. Google had a distribution pattern from what I see. Microsoft, I think, was another one that went straight up, topped around November as well. So the idea still stands, relatively speaking, and I think we will get this distribution pattern at the top in the next month. Very similar to what happened here, or for QQQ, it looked a lot more distributed, and that means the market will stay relatively elevated, but smart money will use this time frame until June OPEX, or end of quarter, June 30th in our case, to get out of the mega caps. They may reinvest the money in something else, they may not, we don't know, and doesn't really matter. Or doesn't really matter for the short term. But the market will not drop, or any drop that it does will be bought up usually by retail and stupid money. So let's assume we get a correction here. The support is 390x, 395 each, let's say. Maybe we don't get this low Maybe we even go to 403 or 400 and bounce again. But the idea is that we will get the same kind of distribution pattern in which we make marginal new highs, if that happens at all, and we go sideways until around June, and then we have a larger breakdown. And I can see this in a lot of names, like I said, the similarity for mega caps, and we go look at mega caps. Tesla is the only one underperforming, but Apple super overperforming, NVDA overperforming, and we're already seeing sort of a distribution pattern. I don't expect we will break 290 anytime soon, or if we do it so marginally, and then we go down, it goes up, it goes down, and eventually you have a breakdown. Google started going up as well pretty crazily, the other Google as well. Amazon started going up as well. Microsoft rocket up. Meta rocket up. Meta and NVIDIA are the best performing stock in the S&P this year, like 90% gains for each of them. Not this one, FinViz. And we go to year-to-date performance, and we have Microsoft 28%, Apple 42, 93, 31, 36, 33, 94. So Meta now, last week it was Nvidia a bit above Meta. Now Meta is the top performing stock in the S&P 500. So the rest, as you can see, there's quite a bit of red here, and this means the rally has very bad breath, and this will end uh, at the end of the quarter, because smart money will take profits and they will look to get out. Now let's look at a few other stuff that happened this week. We had a breakdown in copper, we had oil going back down again, and it closed above the 70.53 level that I have marked down. Maybe this is not right, maybe it's actually 70 that is the psychological level or something like that, but it's looking quite weak. And what I'm seeing in oil stock does not look very good. Speaking of that distribution pattern, what does this look like? Going sideways, up and down. And the best example of this is IWM at the top. So IWM went sideways for quite a long time, had this blow off top fake out at the end, but then it broke down completely. And another example is Bitcoin. More zoomy, like this. This kind of thing happen quite a lot, and the oil stock are starting to look quite a lot like this, and the future does not look very profitable with oil stock longs. And I think we get at max one last push up, but then the breakdown is coming, and it will not be pretty. This being said, it looks like the market is preparing for a very hard landing. Like I'm seeing this kind of signals all across the board. It's just a matter of mega caps rolling over, and once the selling gets started, it won't stop very easily. That's also why I think we get that larger correction, and we like this in SPY, and we retest the 370 360 area from the lows in June and October. And for QQQ, the way it looked is this. I like this a lot also because it fits very well with the levels. Like I didn't draw this after I put this on. They were already there. It just happened to line up. And we're also seeing something similar in European equities. This is DAX. Look at this sideways consolidation pattern or distribution pattern at the top here in 2021. Look at what RSI looks like here. So we're not getting too overbought. It's just staying around slightly above the midpoint and going sideways as well. It's already looking very similar to what is here. And again, not saying that we're gonna crash or something right now, but this pattern of making lows, going back up, and then will lead to an eventual breakdown. And we already have a version of it here. Next time, I think we go as low as, I don't know, 1500 or something like that. Then we go back up, and then we get a bigger breakdown like here. Okay, so this being said, what happens next week? From what I've seen in mega caps, they're still relatively bullish. So I wouldn't expect we get a breakdown immediately, but the first 2 days of the week or the first 3 days of the week have a potential to take us higher. Maybe we go to the blow off topish move that is predicted here as well. Actually, let me take this out. But after that, we have OPEX, we have the expiration. So I don't think we will see a move up that can be sustained. Not this one, sorry, this one. So for next week, I think we go up a bit. Maybe we take out the May high, May open, sorry. Then we get rejected and start dropping. And I think we will take down the weekly low, and which is the quarterly low, and still keep going to at least 400. Uh, Whether or not 400 holds, I don't know. We will see. But if it doesn't hold, we don't have a lot to drop beyond that. So the support would be 395-ish, and then we go up, and then we may see 420 by June. This is way too long as a timeline, so let's actually make it plausible. So the longest it can go is this, and we have on the 16th we have June OPEX. So let's do it like this. So next week we go up, then we get rejected, we start dropping relatively quickly, we keep dropping as well, and it goes up down until the first week of June. This isn't right as well. I have to give it more potential to drop. Go up, we go down, let's say we overshoot here a bit, then we go up into OPEX at 410-ish, I don't know, and then we continue up, get our blow off top move into the end of the quarter. No, this still doesn't feel right. Like we go down, we go up quickly, we go up quickly, we drop again a bit, and then we go up and do a blow off top. That's it. This is the blow off top, and then we just break down. So most likely something like this rather than some slow moves. If we move, I think it's fast and it's brutal. Maybe even higher. Maybe like this. Something like this. And it will still be sideways consolidation. We stay in the broadening formation. Um, we make a new low here, but it's basically sideways. It's very similar to what we saw here. And I think it's less likely that we make new highs in the second and third move because mega caps are already overextended. We will need to see some broad participation in a rally and not be only mega cap driven to even get this type of move. So let's look at mega caps for now. So, Tesla. So Tesla got a rejection on Friday because of that rumor that Elon Musk might be stepping down. I see that as a good thing for the company, not as a bad thing, but I don't know what the market will do. Keep in mind that it's very sensitive to news around Elon Musk. So maybe, I don't know, Elon tweets something like he's not stepping down and he starts rallying again like crazy. It's very subjective to that. So I would not be in playing Tesla either side given this. And besides that, it looks quite weak. If Elon doesn't infirm the news, I think it just keeps going down, and we get a retest and get this gap fill relatively quickly. If it moves up, 180 is still the resistance, and if, I don't know, all planets align and everything is bullish, we go to 200 potentially. But 180 at the top side capped, and at the downside 146-ish to get this gap fill would be a good buy point. We can also draw a channel for it like this. Sorry, parallel channel, and it also gives us the target being around this level. I won't look at delta, it's the same thing as before, so nothing really interesting there. Apple, still think we have a chance to see this blow off move to 180. Looking at the delta profile, it's looking decentish. What's 172.5? So it has the potential to go above 175 and even to 180. Volume was relatively bullish for next week. A lot of 175, but and a bit of 180. So I think it goes for 175 next week, and then maybe we get that reversal, but it's not a breakdown reversal. Was looking at the how much delta expires this week, and Apple only has 7% of delta, and it's 525 of as call delta. So not a lot of expirations here. So even if Apple breaks down, let's say we get that move to 180. I'm gonna take this out, and we get the move to 180. We go here. Then when it drops, I don't think it will go lower than 170, 168. This is the maximum we can go, but most likely already 170 will become support. And the sideways consolidation for Apple is probably gonna look like this, and then it breaks down. NVDA. Well, NVIDIA, same situation as before. This one has a lot more delta expiring this week. It's 13%, 10% of all call delta. We are at 283, so around here. Still has the potential to get to 300, but it has to do it like Monday or Tuesday. This delta will start working against NVIDIA towards the end of the week. Like the more time passes and we don't get to 300, the less likely we will get to 300, because this OI here will expire this week. All the pressure from short-term delta will disappear, and it will lose all momentum. So either it moves up to 300 on Monday or Tuesday, or it's less likely that it does so, and I don't think it will. Volume wasn't that bullish. It I mean, a lot of it for 300, but since it didn't move price a lot on Friday, it's unlikely that it will do so again. That means because price was not moved by all this volume, it means market makers did not believe in the move. So it's a crowd favorite and it gets a lot of volume, but that also means that it's market makers are well prepared for it, and I don't think it can be pushed easily to 300. If we get to 300, it's a clear short. The OPEX effect will be huge. Let's do a test. We get 301 as a price. Then it's 50%, 15% delta. It's almost all call delta. So 91% bullish positioning. The OPEX move, counter move will be quite large. So 300 is a clear short with OPEX coming up. I think we will finally get a more substantial drop relative to the price. This is quite okay. I think 260 is possible. And then again, more consolidation up and down in this range. This becomes our range here, and we wait for the bigger breakdown at the end of June OPEX, which is 21% as of now. Google still had bullish positioning, and it was one of the few names that was green on Friday in spite of the market weakness. 120 remains the target. Lots of volume here, and not only for next week, but also in the future as well for GOG. And Google, same kind of situation, lots of volume and quite a bit of a ramp in the volume as well. I think it gets to 120. 120 is a short. Nothing really to talk about. Actually, let's look at what percentage of delta expires. 13%. If we change the price to 120, it's probably going to be like 15%, 70, 16% like on NVDA. And for the other one, same kind of situation. So a very similar situation to NVIDIA. It's going to be a blow-off move, and the counter move will probably take us down to 108. So let's say we go to 120. The counter move should stop here, 108, 109 on this horizontal level. This is no longer relevant like this. It's going to be like this. So 108. This is the kind of move to expect in Google. Then Amazon. Both Amazon and Google are playing out quite nicely compared versus last week's predictions. And Amazon is no different. Still trying to 120. We got this deep in the money puts activity for June. That's why this is a lot of delta here. I still don't know what to make of this. Maybe they are actually long-term put holders that are taking profit, because I don't see any logic behind buying deep in the money puts for June at this time. Like if you think it drops, I wouldn't be buying that. So I think all this activity from deep in the money puts may actually be put owners that bought puts a long time ago and are now taking profits. What's the delta expiration? Only 9-10%. If we go to 120, I'm curious. How high does it go? Does it go to 15% as well? 13. So if it goes up and then we have a pullback, that how low does it go? This is more complicated. It's basically two possibilities. Either it's 113 here, or this level here, that which is 110, and then it goes back up. Microsoft. Microsoft 315 was a big magnet, I believe. So 310 first, because we are not at 310, so most likely we will hit at least 310 next week. And from, if I remember correctly, from the delta profile, 315 was quite a huge magnet. Yeah, like look at all this delta here. But it's a situation very similar to to NVIDIA. If it doesn't move quickly, like Monday or Tuesday to get to 315, it's not gonna do it a lot. Once we hit midweek, the delta decay starts working against moves up, and I would expect we don't hit it. But if we hit 315 on Monday or Tuesday, it's a clear short, because it's going to have a larger pullback. And just like the other ones, the most likely support is going to be this this level here. So either that one that as it's drawn there, or this one. This one seems a lot more likely, like 290-ish, to become support, and then we go back up. And the delta percent-wise was 15%, quite big. So I'd expect Microsoft to have a larger pullback. And $25, like from 315 to 290, seems quite decent as a pullback. Meta is a more interesting case because it has a shit ton of delta expiring this week. It's already on 15%, and assuming it goes to 250, which it seems that it will happen from the volume, quite a nice ramp up here, and the delta profile looked interesting as well. But because this 180 OI level, and we see it in the delta as the biggest level by far, is expiring, I would expect the pullback to be the largest for Meta. But again, 250 then remains the biggest level by far, and it will still act as a magnet going into June. So short-term pullback, and then we drop again. And the target is this gap fill. So 250 to 210, 15, something like that. It's more complicated because there are a lot of levels here. And back to 250. So 250 to $10, $40. That's like 15%. This would be a decent play down. So it's at 15% now. If we do 250, that's it. Strange. Thought it would be more. Netflix. Netflix broke out as well, and I think it continues up now that the breakout happened. %, quite big as well. Let's look at OI. Quite a bit of call OI expiring this week. We are at 339, so around here. I think it could get to 370. 360, 370 seems to be the target. So we have 350 here and 370 here. Yeah, probably as high as this. So a single good day and then drop and most likely retest this trend line, not this one, the other one. Like this. This didn't play out, so it's fine. This is okay. Let's redraw this. So drop, bounce, drop here, then go back up. Oh, this is way too much faster, like this. So support probably around 325, 330, and then go back up and probably hit the top of the range here at 370. Okay, for QCOM, activity was bullish, but I don't like it at all. Let me rephrase. I think it goes up, but I don't like it at all. This was the volume, 100 volume. We're at 105. There was a lot of 100C volume for next week. There's a lot of deep in the money calls. But again, I don't know why people would be buying deep in the money calls for June at this point. So I'm thinking this may be profit taking, not actually long buying, because out of the money call buying was virtually non-existent. And from the delta profile perspective, I think you could get to below 95 quite quickly. And at 95, it's a buy. 95 would be like this, something like this. So an overshoot, maybe we bounce again and we see afterwards. But I don't like it mainly because of that this whole distribution pattern. And I wanted to showcase it on Oxy as well. Look at this thing on Oxy. We broke below the channel, week off. Well, is this textbook or is it textbook? I don't know. It seems quite evident, and we are very very close to the LPSY pattern here, in which we do this, and then the big breakdown comes in, and when the breakdown comes in, it will double this structure. And let's draw it from here, just for the sake of argument, and let's see like this. So the target becomes this 38. And it's not just some, and it's not just Oxy that look like this. It's basically all oil stock, and this range here is the target area when we get to the breakdown. So I'm not very confident on oil stock. I think if they get a bounce, the bounce will be feeble, and like from 105 to 115, even if we get it, it's not that bullish of a bounce. I can already tell you that even if we go to the all-time high here, we're gonna get a bearish divergence on the RSI. It's not looking good for oil. And having this trend line here, this is a huge trend line. All the TA-based traders will jump on this like shackles when it breaks down. It's like a 2.5 year trend line. When this breaks down, it's not gonna break down uh, gently. It's gonna be something like this: goes up and then break down. If they see it doesn't recapture quickly, it's gonna do this. Not that well. I'm exaggerating, but uh, a drop directly to 95 would be in the cards over 2-3 days. Okay, so that's kind of it with mega caps. I have a few other things prepared that I like the graphs for. First one, mostly for shorts. First one is Li Auto. And I like it because it had the breakout similar to Amazon and Google, went up like crazy due to earnings, but we're hitting the first resistance level. And it has a small overshoot range, potentially to go above 30, but then it just should crater completely to at least 26, 25. I think the first target is filling this gap here, and it has quite a bit of potential to fill the gap. Sorry. Go back up. Actually, let me erase this. And then either support here, or it continues down and gets the gap fill, and then it bounces. I'm not sure which one it's gonna do, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a rejection next week, and it will drop. Then we have Uber, and all of these are supported by the delta positioning as well. I'm not gonna show it because it will take too long, but I checked it as well. Well, we have Uber going into a very big level. Let me show you how big this level is. So we have the all-time low and we have the all-time high. And the midpoint between the all-time low and all-time high is this level. And it was resistance or support multiple times. When we broke out decisively, we basically doubled this range and went all the way here. And now we're hitting it again. And it's channel resistance, it's horizontal level. We get back-to-back rejection on the daily. It seems quite ready to go down. May do, if the market is green and go up on Monday and Tuesday like I think it will, it may go up again one more time, but then I think it breaks down. And first target here, potentially for the bounce. Second target, the gap fill here. to get the bounce and maybe go higher. I don't think it goes as high as here when we get the bounce, but it's plausible. Then DraftKings. Similar situation, top of the channel, top of the horizontal range. We have the AVWAP from the all-time high here, and I think this will cap it. This short term looks like a bull flag. If we look at lower time frame, this is a clear bull flag. And as a clear bull flag, it should go up, break out, and it's going, we double the bull flag to see the target. And it's approximately the all-time high AVWAP. So I would say very bullish short term because this is a very explosive day, like it's 23.53. If it goes to 26, this is quite a bullish move for DraftKings, and it might be profitable to play as weekly FDs. And then resistance at the all-time AVWAP, short it, and it will go down a lot most likely. First target, gap fill. If it reverses, it will reverse hard and fast, and probably here's the first support and potentially bounce here. Okay, cat. Someone mentioned it on Reddit. I call this the limb dick pattern because it looks like a limb dick, like this, and then it just craters. And I have an example for you with something similar here. So it was a horizontal support range. It was a horizontal level and tested it once, recaptured again, again. But when it breaks down from the horizontal level, it breaks down hard and it almost doubles the range. I think it doubled this range. Let's measure it. 5%, and it goes to 11 plus with a bit of an overshoot. And it's looking very similar to that here. Like we have the horizontal level, tested it once, tested it again and recaptured. Now we're testing it again. I think if we lose this level, horizontal level here again, we just flush down and go probably to 180. If it doesn't, I think 200 is still quite possible. Like I don't see any way this doesn't stop until 200. So this is the bull case. The bear case is much lower. And D doing the same. I put them in tandem. This is the slow drop part, and then the flush should come relatively soon. And the trigger might be earnings next week for DE, which will also make CAT drop. Did CAT have earnings? Yes, they did. But the earnings might make it bounce, might make it drop. Play it as you see fit. But from the TA part, it's looking quite weak, and I think it breaks down. Oxy already showed the distribution pattern. This is not bullish at all. It keeps making lower highs. It's losing horizontal support. It's looking weak as fuck. And I think we get a flush relatively soon. Best thing we can see in this LPSY distribution at the end is another retest of the trend line. Respect this trend line, short it at the trend line, and most likely we will see a breakdown soon. DAX, I had it here just to showcase the similarities between this RSI pattern here and this here. And I think we are close to, we are analogous to this. Like this drop here was this drop here. And now we are in phase 2. We have one last move up. And then the big one. Okay, I have race here because of something specific. It's mind-blowingly high. Where is our race? For race, we have 43% of delta expiring this week, and it's almost all called delta. And when we look at the delta profile, it's 280C. We are at 296, and it's how many contracts? 2788 contracts. We multiply this by 100, and it's 278,000 shares. The average volume, daily volume for race is between 350k and 400k. And not saying that this will be exercised and sold instantly on a single day, but if someone takes profit on this contracts and starts selling, even if they do it bit by bit every day, it should put downwards pressure on the stock price. And I think we get at least a pullback to 278. Most likely this actually breaks the uptrend. Like this. This will break the uptrend, and broken uptrend is blood in the water for the technical shorters. And I think we finally get a breakdown in race. Velodyne, I put it here because we might get a bounce here. Volume was a hammer red candle and a volume spike, but the thing to note is that it was a bounce. So the fact that it's a lower wick, a pretty long one with a volume spike, means this is actually bullish volume, not bearish volume. So it tried to go down, and buyers came in and bought it. Plus, we are at support here on the trend line. If this actually holds and shows follow through, it might go up, might get a breakout, and when we get a breakout, it will move up relatively quickly. GE. Well, small distribution pattern here, getting rejected multiple times on trying to move up. Weak, weak, weak. I think it's preparing to break down. RSI is also looking very, very not bullish. So once the trend breaks, expect the sharks to jump in, maybe like this. For now, at least a drop to 93. Then maybe we get to that also distribution pattern building here as well, or like this. And then the breakdown. Again, ignore this, is exaggerated just to prove the point. Okay, Qualcomm. So Qualcomm got the breakdown. We're hitting a support level here, but it's looking quite weak. I honestly don't know if it bounces here. It can bounce here for sure, but with the rest of the market being weak, my expectation is that it will go to 93. And I think it's a very good buy at 93. We have this long-term support here of the previous highs. It might not immediately go up like this, but I don't expect it will go below this level, and at one point it will start moving up. I have BABA and PDD here. Last week we had JD earnings, like I said on the first day video, and it was okay. Next week we have BABA earnings. If they are bullish, I would expect another move up in BABA. Let's ignore this part here. But Chinese equities have been beaten down and did not participate in the rally at all. On Thursday, with the market week, we had Chinese equities rallying across the board and had this like 6% day in BABA. I think if US tech mega caps start being weak, we will get some rotation into Chinese equities, especially if BABA earnings are good. So I think it's quite plausible that we see Chinese stuff doing well and rally while the rest of the market goes down. and Delta was looking quite good in volume, BABA and PDD and JD. So look at this volume for BABA. People are trying to push it to 100. It's now at 85. 90, I think it's almost a guarantee if earnings are decent, but it can actually go to 100. Like this is even more bullish because it's for June. So there's a lot of bullish volume for June. The delta profile allows for that quite well. We are here at 83 and quite a bit of ramp into 100 and even further, which also puts to burn quite a lot. PDD was looking similar. Lots of volume for what's this? This is August. Oh no, September, sorry. Look at this volume ramp here. And it's even more bullish because the longer term strikes have more OI and more volume than shorter term ones. And we are at PDD. We are at 63. So we are here. Lots of room to go up and run, to put to burn, calls to go in the money. And JD, good earnings, and volume. Again, 40, we are at 35, 40 had a lot of volume. It was for June. Lots of room to go up on Chinese equities. Baidu didn't look that well because it's tech. These are JD, PDD, and BABA are retail, and for some reason the market likes them more than tech. And another thing to consider is this bottoming pattern. So they often do this move up, he gets completely retraced, move up again, gets retraced but makes higher lows like this, and then it just goes up. And I think we will see this here. So maybe we get a bit of a drop on Monday and then they start going up. I expect them to be in what's the word, counterpoint to US equities. So I expect Chinese will go up when US equities drop. BTU. So I put this one here to also showcase the distribution pattern from the week of thing. Let's copy it again. This does not look bullish. We are close to LPSY, and I think we will drop almost for sure to below 20 at some point. Then we get the last bounce. We get rejected on this trend line here, something like this, and then we get the breakdown, and the breakdown goes to 8. No sugarcoating it. Once we lose this level, it's over, this horizontal level. I put Moderna here because the two sectors I think will start performing well are healthcare and Chinese stuff. So this may continue down next week to hit the 120 level, but then I think it breaks out. And same thing, CVS, which may not go down, but whatever, I don't know. But 65 should be the bottom. Like this is the maximum we can see. If I'm willing to go all in CVS at 65. I probably won't do it, but I think it's a good enough play to go all in on CVS at 65. In my shares account, I'm probably buying CVS. What's the other thing? Pfizer. Pfizer very close to hitting a daily, weekly demand zone and then going up. They are quite oversold. Bullish divergence on the daily is quite big, and I think healthcare will start performing again. Then we have Wing, which I think is ready to break down. It this broadening formation top here. We have the trend line, one like this and one like this. I think we will get a test of the trend line, and then the distribution pattern continues. So let's look at it. Market is bullish. Let's assume market is bullish. It goes up once more, then it drops, and it goes for the trend line. Then it bounces up and it does this, and then eventually break down. Again, it's not drawn time accurate. It's probably going to be much faster than this. I go down, bounce, hit this level again and reject from it, drop again, and when it loses the trend line, it breaks down completely. The trend line being, let's say, this. Cruises. So top of the range into horizontal level, getting red candles above here, so it looks like it's a deviation. I think it will lose this level here. Volume was consistent with another move up, but another move up gets rejected and then goes back here, and then this, potentially as low as 60. What's the deviation range? I think it's up to here. So we are at 75, 79, 80 will probably top it up, and then it reverses. Same situation for BlackBerry, top of the range, double rejection. It can, I think, target for the long run is 3.8 to fill this gap here, but for now, a distribution pattern could happen here, go back up, eventually break down. And I think this is it. Yeah, VIX closing nearly flat, but VVIX closing green. Yeah, that's it. Okay, until next time, good luck. Bye bye.